Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, sports fans! Welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded, where we cover all of the top weekly sports stories that have happened, and we break them down for you. Hopefully, you're joining us live and join the chat. I am your host, Eric, main man right over there. Ron, how are you tonight with that fancy
Cheers,
mug?
everyone.
That fancy mug. Look at that thing.
You'll love that, huh?
Again, we want to... I love it. It's an amazing mug. If you're interested in Sports Unfolded merchandise, check out Patreon at RhodeIslandBroadcasting to get your Sports Unfolded merchandising. We cover all of the top sports stories going on. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, live. Check us out on the radios on Saturday night in Dallas, Georgia, WDJY 99.1 FM. We are on from 1 to 3 p.m. every single Saturday. You guys have been great out there in Dallas. Also want to thank Southeast Connecticut Public Access Channel 12 every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. In Southeast Connecticut. You can check us out there. If you are joining us on the radio or on TV at 10 p.m., check us out live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday night. And join the chats. We definitely want to see. Hopefully we get a lot of participation tonight because we got a lot to talk about, Ron, lot to cover.
And I feel a little bad because you sound under the weather. It must be all this Patriot action that's been going on.
We'll definitely
talk.
We'll talk some Patriots today. We obviously a lot to cover in New York. New York having a lot happening right now in the postseason, so we'll cover some of that as well as I will say our starting five. A lot of great names in that starting five.
Oh
it's
my
not an
God,
easy one.
That took me a long time.
And then some great goalies in the pick and roll as well. So tune in for that. And then towards the end of the show, predictions. You get to pick the games and see if you can match up against us. See how you do. We will have our predictions at the end of the show. But Ron, we start off every single week with our leadoff story, and that is the New York Jets. They have made some changes. Obviously firing Robert Saleh this week, demoting Nathaniel Hackett. Will it make a difference with the New York Jets in the outcome of the season?
They better hope so. I mean, I'm stunned that Hackett is going to be coaching this team.
He's not coaching the team.
Best.
Hackett's not. He got demoted. He's no longer the offensive play caller.
Oh, I thought you said he got promoted.
No, demoted.
Oh my gosh.
Demoted. He is no longer
who's running this
the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. I can't remember his name. Ulbrich.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Ulbrich.
Yeah.
He's actually the head coach, and I forgot the play caller, Todd something. He's going to be calling plays for the New York Jets.
It's over. I do have to say that, I think they're blaming the wrong people.
It's fair to say.
Come on. This is square on the shoulders of Aaron Rodgers. He can't put his big ego aside to let somebody else run things. This is the second coming of LeBron.
It is very interesting that Rodgers not having a great season, right? 2-3, 61% completion percentage, strong for 1,093 yards. You think about it in 5 games, that's like 200 yards a game. 6 yards an attempt. We think about Aaron Rodgers down the field, all the plays he can make. 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's always been one of those guys where 4 interceptions might be a season for Aaron Rodgers. 5 games in, he's got 4 interceptions. So he hasn't played well. I will say this, though. Everybody wants to blame Aaron Rodgers. He got him fired. This is his move. Robert Saleh was 20-36 as the Jets head
Oh yeah,
coach.
he's not.
35% win percentage. You don't win games.
Yeah.
You don't get to remain a
Well, we
coach.
talked about it at the beginning of the season, right? I mean, a lot of it is going to depend on, Rodgers and Salah. That was what the whole season was going to be banked on. First of all, whether they
James,
would
thanks
get
for joining.
along, and second of all, if the egos get in the way, and they clearly did on both of them, and it cost the Jets dearly. And there's a lot of things like the discipline, and I've been talking about this with the Jets. The Jets could have blown out the Patriots. They didn't because of the lack of discipline, with the penalties, and they just keep continuing, and that shoots them in the foot. That defense is phenomenal, and the offense just destroys everything that the defense does.
Yeah, listen, Nathaniel Hackett now, this track record since he's left Green Bay. I mean, he was in Denver. That didn't last the full season. Comes over to New York, hasn't looked any better. So you look at his career, pretty much done. They ranked 27th on offense per game, offensive yards per game this season. You're talking about a team that's got a ton of talent. You got Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. Like they're not. It's not like they don't have quality talent.
I wish the Patriots had this talent.
I mean, we'll talk about them in a few minutes.
You used to,
but it's just how big of an impact do you think Aaron Rodgers has on this Jets organization? And if this is the case, are we, to your point, are we seeing the LeBron James of the NFL?
Yeah, I think we are, and I'll go a little bit further. Aaron Rodgers' skills appear to be diminishing.
Yeah, I don't think they said 300-yard game in 25, I think almost 25 games. Like he hasn't thrown a 300-yard game.
It's clearly age is catching up to him.
And everybody wanted to compare him and Tom Brady. And they're two different quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers was a very athletic quarterback, running out of the pocket, making those, long throws, all those Hail Marys, all the things he could do. Tom Brady was a pocket quarterback. Aaron Rodgers has an injury to his Achilles that is obviously going to change who he is. I don't want to hear that he healed miraculously and could come back last season and they decided not to. You're not going to be the same quarterback.
No. And, it's going to take more time, if anything, for an older quarterback to get back to it. And that kind of an injury.
I heard.
And I'll tell you, this team is right now reeling because they banked on Aaron Rodgers to bring them to the promised land. And that was a big mistake.
Ron, I'm gonna blow your mind right now. You may not be the same after I tell you this. I know you going on daily with Kenny, and you have a make Ron say what?
Yes.
Right? I'm gonna do it right now on Sports Unfolded.
Oh boy.
You're gonna say what? So I heard a story about Aaron Rodgers the other day of how he healed so quickly. Would you like to know how, Ron?
Wait, did he make a phone call to Barry Bonds?
No. I guess if you listen to sounds of dolphins having sex, it increases your healing process. This is a story that I heard. He listened to dolphins having sex, which ultimately helped him heal quicker.
Wait. Is that the Miami Dolphins?
I don't know. I don't know what dolphin and what they could have been.
Is he inside Tua's bedroom or something?
He went out to Germany like CMC. I mean, were there dolphins in Germany that maybe there? I don't know. I just heard the story. I don't know if it's true, but it was like, what? Oh, dolphin sex, and it helped him heal quicker.
See, now there's a bunch of people jumping on as soon as we started talking about
dolphin sex. Everybody wants to talk about dolphin sex. I mean, it's very. Maybe I should listen to some right now, Ron. I'll feel better.
Maybe it could miraculously heal you.
As long as everybody doesn't mind, I am going to throw on some dolphin sex noise right now while we do the show, so I can heal.
That's nuts. Yeah, isn't it?
Right? I don't know.
I thought I did that, but I guess not.
So
Oh, I did do that.
I don't know, man. It's going to be an
So
interesting.
where is this? Where's the soundtrack of this?
I,
Um.
if you know, let me know. I'm not. I haven't. I'm afraid to Google it. I'm afraid to Google it because who knows. But I will say
I
this.
mean, but again, this is the absurdity, right? This is what we're getting out of the New York Jets, and it's just a circus year after year after year. I don't think there's any chance remotely that they make the playoffs at this point.
Help him decide his future in the NFL. Yeah, right. He locked himself in some cave with no lights and
Yeah,
like complete darkness to make a decision on his future. Like the guy's
I
just,
think he's a little bit eccentric,
I don't know.
and he
I don't know
might
how
be
to say.
losing his mind.
Yeah,
He might be.
he is a guy that obviously is not the same caliber. So you could kind of tolerate some of the stuff coming out of Green Bay because he was actually performing. Now that he's in New York and not performing,
Wait,
uh,
is James trying to get us to ask somebody?
I want to ask her. I want to
Hey
ask
yo,
her.
ask her. Hey yo,
Hey,
ask her.
yo. Hey, ask her. I don't know how to spell it either, James. I don't know, but I remember that story. He's doing mushrooms or
Yeah, no,
something, like all
yeah.
kinds of stuff. Guy's just crazy. And I will say this: I don't think he got Robert Saleh fired. I believe Robert Saleh, honestly, at 20 and 36, the record spoke for itself. I
Well,
don't think he helped the situation.
you had to do this anyway because this is a team that's supposed to make a playoff push, and you have to do it early in order to try to get the team to perform the way you want them to perform. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I mean, they have the talent to, so maybe it's a wake up call for the team. I don't know, but you do have to get somebody in there to right the ship. I
And I will
mean,
say this: I
you
don't
need a
know.
good coach.
Yeah, I don't know if Jeff Ulbrich. Listen, I think this is a. So there's already a rumor out there too that Kirby Smart of Georgia has already accepted a position. Obviously, they wouldn't announce it now because of the college season. I don't know if that helps. I really don't. We've not seen college coaches really, you know, come into the NFL and have success. It's a completely different league. So to me, if that's the answer, and I'm not saying it is because we don't know, but if that would be the answer, I don't feel like the New York Jets will be in any better situation next season. I think it's a bigger circus. It just creates more madness. You need
Yeah,
to get a guy in there that is coached, that has
yeah.
shown he can win. We know who I'm going to say. Bill Belichick should be on the
You know,
phone right.
he's not on the phone with them. I don't think he wants anything to do with the Jets.
I think he would go back and coach with Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. I think he's waiting for a different job to open up.
And then I don't know if you heard, supposedly Robert Saleh, when he got basically brought by security out of the building.
Security.
Like
Yes.
that was a little odd too. So this story, I'm sure, is going to have more
He must
layers
have
to
went
it.
off. He must have went
Oh,
off.
I'm sure he was probably looking for Aaron. He was popping right in his face. That would have been
Yeah,
awesome.
probably.
That would have been amazing. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And they're both about the same age. Saleh's 45. Aaron Rodgers, what, 41?
Hey, maybe we can get them into a ring
We could. UFC.
or the octagon.
Right?
Yes.
Like, let's do that. Let's
That would
see if
be
we can get them.
so. Bill is waiting for the star, and I think James, I think you're right about
you might be
that.
getting lucky on
Not
that
the
one too.
star. It could be the Eagles.
Yeah, I think Dallas won't. If Dallas had, even if they get to the playoffs and lose, I think they would still try to get Bill because they know Philadelphia is going to go after him.
Yeah, he's going to be a hot commodity.
Imagine this. We're going to be talking about Bill Belichick next season. 76 coaching. 76. 76.
I think with Bill, I think he was just here too long and he just got tired of being here.
I mean, coaching staff now is really turn things up. Okay, let's talk, Ron, some more NF. Great Jets conversation already. James, thanks for joining. If you're live, let us know. What do you think about the New York Jets? Did they make the right move? Was this right? Is Aaron Rodgers to blame? Let us know in the chat, and we can continue talking about
There's
it.
a lot of blame to go around in this.
Yeah,
a lot of it.
Absolutely. Ron, let's talk some more NFL. We're going to talk about the New England Patriots. So they have decided to name a starting quarterback for the next game against the Houston Texans, and that will be Drake May. He will make his debut for the New England Patriots. Is it the right time?
Well, I don't know about wanting to go up against Houston for him. I think they should have waited a week.
See, so
like I said week 7. It is week 6. That's what I said. When we did the preview show, I said week 7 he would start. But they pulled the trigger a week too early. Look, Josh Allen just got done playing them. He got 131 yards. How much is Drake May going to get? You know what I'm saying? This defense is too good.
I look at it this way. And James, bad move. I disagree with both of you. I think this is a couple weeks too late. This literally should have been his third. This should have been his third or fourth stop by now. If we're looking at Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams and what they've been able to do with their two teams, they've each improved each week. We're seeing such a progression with these quarterbacks. The kid needs to learn. And then as a Patriot, you need to understand, can we build around this kid? Does he have some talent that you at least say, look, we know he's not going to be lights out. That offensive line is not very good pass blocking at all. They don't have offensive weapons on the outside to even make this kid look better. Okay, but if he makes plays, Ron, and you start to see consistent plays, the kid can move around the pocket. Hey, you know what? On a third and 10, he makes the right read and makes a play. Okay, we can build around this kid. Now you're going to start to get talent in next season to say, okay, this is what we need. A solid offensive line, a good wide receiver. Without playing him, you're never going to know what he's capable of. And I think everybody out there keeps saying the kid's going to get killed. The offensive line sucks. I don't expect this kid to throw any more than Jacoby Brissett did. I want to see a better version of it where this kid can make some deeper throws, can make some plays in a tight window, can, hey, roll out and scramble and say, hey, look, instead of it being a sack because Jacoby Brissett can't move or refuses to throw the ball, this kid can get down the field and do some things. I don't expect it to be better.
I agree with that, what you said. All right. All of those things is a definite. He is better at all those options that, Brissett just doesn't have that skill. The problem is that offensive line only allows 2 seconds, if that. Might not even be 2 seconds.
Okay.
And is that even time enough to get rid of the ball?
Probably not.
I don't know, because the receivers are not good enough to get open. They're just not good enough to get open.
Absolutely. Again, in James, right? Jacoby Brissett could fall off. Couldn't hit water if he fell off a boat, right? But again, we keep talking about failing. What is failing? Yeah. This team is 1-4. 1-4. They are.
I don't care if they win with him in there.
Ron, the Cleveland Browns.
You just got to keep them alive.
The Cleveland Browns, who had a quarterback quit in a game last week, quit. Deshaun Watson just said, screw it, I'm walking off the field. During the game, is the only team with a worse offense. So does it matter? Let's see if the kid got anything. If it's a glimmer of hope.
I agree.
Jacoby Brissett's thrown for less than 700 yards in 5 games. He's averaging 5.2 yards per attempt. He's got 2 touchdowns and 1 interception in 5 games, Ron. What is a fail?
I know it's a joke, right? This team is a joke. There is literally zero skill on the offensive side of that ball. And there's very little on the defense side right now because all of them are hurt.
or they're doing cocaine and beating up women. I mean, but that's another story for another day, right? Good job, Jabril. Glad he got that contract, though. Great job by the Patriots there. I listen, and again, allegations, whatever. He did admit to doing the cocaine.
Did you know that
He
they
did have the
had
cocaine.
another guy on the roster that killed somebody a couple of years back?
Did they?
Yeah, he never made made the team or anything like that, but he was on the roster for a little while.
Oh, good for them. Good for them. Let's get back. So I will say this. If I was to ask you, Ron, before the season started, would the Washington Commanders be 4-1 right now?
No.
After 5 weeks? No.
No.
Right? Would the Chicago Bears have a winning record right now?
No.
Yet that's what we're seeing with rookie quarterbacks because they've elevated players. Tom Brady honestly never really had a top quality wide receiver other than Randy Moss. Wes Welker became Wes Welker with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Miami got rid of him.
Yep.
Julian Edelman was a quarterback in college.
Yep.
He makes them better. Jaden Daniels is making Washington better. Caleb Williams is making the Bears better. Can Drake May, at least, I'm not saying again 4-1, but can he make some guys better? Can he make a Pop Douglas a little better? Or Kendrick Bourne, who just came back from injury, or Polk. And now you start to see okay, they have something to work with. That's why this is not a fail, regardless of what happens. Because they need to know if they need to move on.
And, when you see the amount of receptions by the receivers, on the roster, it's startling that it's that anemic. I mean, can he find somebody, if they can get open at all? He can't. Brissett couldn't make the passes downfield to get Polk or, anybody that had any speed.
Any defense says play 10 yards and in. Because New England's not trying to tear it off. They're not going over you.
Yeah.
So, again, at least this makes the defense play a little more honest.
Yeah.
It may give them a better opportunity. I think this is, again, a couple weeks too late.
8 men in the box, you stop the Patriots.
I would have loved to seen him play the Dolphins because to me, the Dolphins' defense was horrible. Jacoby Brissett was just worse.
Yeah.
I think they probably could have won with Drake May.
You might be right on that.
So, to me, this great move by the Patriots to at least get the ball rolling at this point. Everybody out there that says it's a mistake, the kid's going to get killed. You know what? He could get killed anytime. It doesn't matter. There's not a perfect week. There's not week 10. He'll only have 6 weeks. He can't get hurt as much. What? He could go out,
be in that locker room for all we know.
Right? He could jog out to the field, blow out an Achilles. It can happen. So start to play the kid. All right, let's talk some games of interest this week. Week 6 coming up, Ron. 49ers already Thursday night beat the Seattle Seahawks. They look like they're getting back on track. Are there any other games of interest? I only have 3 this week. It's not a really big week for some top games, at least in my eyes.
Well, let me figure out why that's not going to the next graphic, but
it's there.
Well, I technically have 5, but really 4.
Okay.
Because the other one is Houston at New England. I just want to see what he does.
You, my friend, have stones of steel. Because I would not, dude. Explain that one to me.
I just want to see how Drake May does.
But still not a game of interest. I'm going to work. I'm going to tape it. I'll watch it later because I really don't care.
I told you it was really 4. That one is just,
okay. All right.
I want to see.
Yeah, I want to
see
he
survives
too. But I'm not sitting in front of a tube at 1 o'clock to be disappointed. But go ahead.
All right. So I like the Detroit Dallas game the most.
I have that one. Right. That looks like it's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, I'm skeptical on Dallas.
This is a revenge game too. The Lions last year, they lost that odd call. The ref said they didn't report as an eligible lineman, and Dallas ended up winning that game. But so there's a lot. And listen, the one thing Dan Campbell does well is going to get blown out. I think James has given up on the Cowboys this season. The one thing about Dan Campbell, he's going to use that as motivation.
Yeah.
and just say, look, we need to pop these guys in the mouth a lot and make them feel that pain. So, yes, very interesting game. If the Cowboys do win and pull this out, you really start to look at the Cowboys different. But expectation, and obviously we'll do a prediction, but
I
the
don't look
Lions,
at them any different
yeah, I don't know.
because it's not playoff time.
Yeah.
So they're going to do okay this season.
Yeah. I have also on mine Commanders at Ravens.
Yeah. I got
Right.
that one
Jaden
too.
Daniels versus Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
This should be a fun game. And again, are the Commanders for real? I mean, this is to go 5-1. They could take a stranglehold of the NFC East.
I know. If they win this game, they're legit, right?
Right? Like they're going to have a 2-3 game lead in this division at some point.
Yeah.
That's insane to think about. What else do you have?
I also have Buffalo at New York Jets.
I have it.
Look, I mean, you got to see what the Jets' reaction is going to be. Are they going to be ready for it? I find it hard to believe the Jets are going to be ready. I don't know who's going to be leading this team.
Yeah.
Is it going to be, Aaron Rodgers going to lead this team? I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to see if this team has any,
fight, right? Like,
yeah,
this is it.
I was going to say something else, but
we're not. Family show. Bills at Jet Monday night too. So we got to wait, another couple days, but I agree. Listen, I had that game and it's not because the Bills too, realistically, they started off and you looked at them and you go, okay, Stephon Diggs gone. They no problem, no sweat. And now you're starting to see a little bit of struggle and can they just
right now?
Yeah, right. They just lost to Houston, right? They lost to Houston. I would be concerned if Buffalo goes and loses 3 straight. Devontae Adams, they're going to make a phone call because they realize they're going to need that kind of superstar wide receiver.
Yeah.
So you have one more.
Yeah, I got the Tampa Bay at New Orleans game. I know New Orleans has been struggling, but this is a matchup in this division that could tell us, who's for real there. Tampa Bay is right now 3-2. If they can win this game, and say Atlanta loses theirs, then they take the lead in that division.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting, to see which one of these 3 teams is going to be the one that rises to the top. And
Saints though, Derek Carr out for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So again, he's the catalyst when it comes to that offense. I'd be kind of concerned with that piece of it, but it could be an interesting
fall out of the race.
Yeah, and you talk about from a positioning standpoint, right? Tampa Bay realistically has to kind of stay in line with Atlanta because we expect Atlanta to be well over 500 at some point. But good games. If you have a game of interest, let us know. Join the chat. Tell us why, so we can talk about it. But we are going to get into our starting 5.
Oh, this is a dandy.
3, 2, 1.
So in the last 41 years, so since 1983, we had to decide our starting 5 NFL defensive rookies of the year. So from 1983 to now, and we had to basically give you who we would start out of those 5. Some phenomenal players, by the way. I am going to start us off with my honorable mentions, and I'm sure you'll have some, Ron, and then we'll get into our starting 5.
This is going to be a tough one to be close to each other on.
Yeah, I don't think we will be. But I will say this. I kind of, the last 5 years, held them a little bit different than the rest. But I did put honorable mentions for Nick Bosa because I think he is probably the best defensive player in the league today. And Micah Parsons as
Nick Bosa. Wasn't it Joey Bosa that got the
both Bosas got it.
Oh, okay.
But Joey's not as good as Nick. Nick's much better for the 49ers. Micah Parsons, 41 and a half sacks, I think, in 4 years. So solid numbers. But again, honorable mentions, still not. I wouldn't put it. If it ended today, his career, he's not in at all. But I'm just saying the expectation. Hey, again, thank you for organically trying to get. Please, no one click the links. I will say this, Ron. Brian Urlacher, I thought would make my list and did not. I love the guy as a middle linebacker, one of the best. Simeon Rice, phenomenal player, man. He over 120 sacks. Simeon Rice. Leslie O'Neal, very quietly at Chargers, another guy that had over 120 something sacks. And then Von Miller. Von Miller did not make my list. I see him on the graphic, but he was my last to miss. Von Miller. So he was just outside of the top 5. That's my honorable mentions.
So my 10th guy on my list is Simeon Rice. He did make it for me. I was surprised to see several people not on my list. And I was kind of stunned, to be honest with you. I don't have Sue Carrier and Javon Curse. I didn't even put him on my list. I was a little surprised.
2 coaches that are coaching against each other this week, Gerard Mayo and D'Amico Ryans. Both were defensive rookies of the year.
Yeah, and I don't have either of them on my list.
Me neither.
So number 9, I have Leslie O'Neal.
Yeah, right.
So
really
he
good
made
numbers.
my honorable mention. Right? Good numbers. Phenomenal. The next guy on my list, Patrick Willis.
Very good. Right.
Great middle linebacker. Make my list. My 5. Right.
Mm-hmm. I struggled with him.
And I think you got this guy in. Aaron Donald, I believe you have in. He did not make my list.
Now I'm really curious. Okay.
And you might have this guy on your list as well, Terrell Suggs. He's not on my list.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Are you ready for the starting 5?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. At number 5 for me, Derek Thomas. 126.5 sacks, 599 tackles, 41 forced fumbles, 1 interception in his career, 9-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. Just cracked the list, Derek Thomas. Also a Sports Unfolded Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is. All right, my number 5 is Von Miller. And he's, sort of still going.
Yeah, a little suspension.
Sort of still going. When I look at his numbers are fantastic. 27 forced fumbles, 9 fumble recoveries, 126.5 sacks, 438 solo tackles, 8-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. He's also got a Super Bowl MVP, so that helped him get up into my top 5. And also the 2 Super Bowls don't hurt as well. So Von Miller.
My grandson over here. Look at his jersey. Look at this kid. Got his football jersey on.
There we go.
Middle linebacker over here. Running back. All right. Oh, look at it. He got braces now, too. Oh, boy. Oh,
Did you not know about that?
He just got him. Yesterday. Today. Got him today. Got braces today. All right, kid.
Brace yourself.
All right. Brace yourself. Very good. All right. At number 4 for me, Terrell Suggs.
Yeah.
How do you not have this guy in? 139 sacks, 630
He was right
tackles,
there.
37 forced fumbles, 7 interceptions. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler. He made the 1-time All-Pro, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, and a 2-time champion. Terrell Suggs for me at number 4.
Yeah. It's a good pick. He was my number 6 guy. It was him or Von Miller.
Okay.
Number 4, I have Brian Urlacher in. I mean, his numbers are just beast-like. I mean, first of all, I have to find them. All right, so he's got 22 interceptions as well.
Yeah, I noticed that. Which that was
crazy. Right? He's got 4 touchdowns. 4. 11 forced fumbles, 16 fumble recoveries, 41.5 sacks. He's a Hall of Famer, of course. 8-time Pro Bowl, 4-time All-Pro. He also won Rookie of the Year, and he has 1,046
Was such a good,
solo tackles.
such a great linebacker. I will say this though, Tom Brady shook him. I still remember that Tom Brady scramble while he busted it. Clay Matthews was not a from 83. We went from 1983 on. Clay Matthews was probably way ahead.
Yeah, it was way before that.
Yeah. I don't know if he got a rookie of the year. I don't know if he did either. At number 3 for me, Ron, I had Aaron Donald. 111 sacks, 340 tackles, but you think, again, defensive tackles, 24 forced fumbles, a 10-time Pro Bowler, 8-time All-Pro, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and he won that championship. So I put Aaron Donald at number 3 for me.
Yeah, I had a tough time with Aaron Donald because, I mean, the 10 Pro Bowls and 8 All-Pro,
I think out of all the rookies of the year for the last 41 years, he's had the most All-Pros.
And
Lena,
he's
thanks
got
for joining. What's
three-time
up?
Three-time Defensive Player of the Year, too. So I think I might have missed that one. I think I took away too much from his tackles and I didn't even realize that he's a lineman.
Yeah,
so
lineman, so a lot different than defensive end.
Yeah, so
Lena,
I
how's the
probably
streaming going?
penalized him unjustly.
On
So
Twitch.
looking at this now, I think he should have been up there.
Agreed. On Twitch, Lena Roby, thanks for joining. Streaming's going well. Hope you're enjoying the show. Let us know if you're a sports fan. Look forward to hearing from you.
What's up?
What's that? I'm a professional
Oh,
artist.
she's a professional artist.
For the streamers. Here's my Discord. Oh, thank you for the ad. Thank you for asking. We appreciate it.
Hey, you know what you should do? You should actually become a sponsor for the show. Then we'll advertise you all you want. All
you want. All right, so we're at number 3, Ron. Who do you have?
All right, number 3, I have Derek Thomas. Oh, my God. I look at his numbers and...
You were swayed by the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame nominee.
I think I might have been.
Right? He's an inductee.
126 sacks, 41 forced fumbles. When he hit you, you knew it. He was ferocious. 19 fumble recoveries. He even had an interception, 4 touchdowns, 9-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, Hall of Famer. You name it, he's done it.
Sports Unfolded Hall.
Except for winning a Super Bowl.
Good call. At number 2, and I thought this guy would be number 1 when I did it, and the guy I put ahead of him, I really am more impressed with. But at number 2, Julius Peppers, 159.5 sacks, 557 tackles, 52 forced fumbles, Ron, 52, 11, and he also had 11 interceptions as a lineman, defensive end. 9-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, but didn't have a ring to go with it or a Defensive Player of the Year. So that's why I had him at number 2.
Yeah, I did the same thing, Eric. I have him at number 2 exactly for those reasons. I thought for sure it was a cakewalk for him to be number 1. And, that number 1 has snuck up on us before in these lists. And he's pretty impressive.
Coco Crisp. Are you talking the cereal, James, or the baseball player? That's all I want.
Coco Crisp. So, yeah, I mean, Julius Peppers was a great player. Great player.
He was. He really was. At number 1 for me, though, Ron, and our starting 5, the man you have right there, Charles Woodson, 65 interceptions, 1,220 tackles, 33 forced fumbles, 9-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, did win a championship. He also had 11 touchdowns on those interceptions as well. And don't forget, early in his career, kick returner, punt returner. The man did it all. Charles Woodson at number 1 for me.
I mean, when you think about a guy like that plays defensive back, safety, wherever you put him, it didn't matter. 997 solo tackles. He got 1,000 tackles as a defensive back. I mean, that is brutal. The 65 interceptions is incredible, and I mean, the guy
he's
is a great
always
player.
going to be remembered. The Tuck rule. The Tuck rule. And did you get to see the Tom Brady and him when they reviewed the whole thing again? And then Tom Brady actually said it's a fumble, and then he said no, right? But they were kind of joking around. So always going to be synonymous with that rule in Patriots history. Woodson was a monster. And then think about it. He went to Green Bay, right? Became a safety. Went back to Oakland. Well, I think it was Oakland then, or LA. I don't know which Raiders they were then, but he was a phenomenal player. And I loved him in Michigan too. Always one of those guys that was
He's always
a good
been
player.
great.
All right, Ron. Great start at 5. That was a tough one. That really was.
Yeah, and I look at the list. I mean, we did have a lot of the guys. I think our top 7 was exact.
Yeah, it's just maybe a little.
We just had them in a different order.
Yeah.
And again, you're looking at some. This was a tough list because there's some great players.
They really were. They really were.
I mean,
Ron,
we didn't even talk about guys like Stubblefield and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was
Hugh
some
Douglas.
There was some really good
we
players.
love here in New England.
Yeah, we loved a lot of those guys. Yeah, no, you mentioned Curse. I mean, there was some great guys. Dale Cotter, great cornerback.
Yes. Luke Kuechly,
right? That was a tough one. I almost put him in. Mine too.
He was number 11. He was the last guy who bounced.
Yeah. Ron, before we talk some NBA, do you want to bring up our Hall of Fame nominees for the NBA? So the voting's still going on currently. Julius Erving, Moses Malone, Walt Frazier, George Gervin, and Bill Walton are our nominees for this round. So cast your votes. I think we still, as of Showtime, not that Showtime. Let's see who's leading still, Ron. Do you have any guesses?
I'm going to say it's still Dr. J.
Yes, Dr. J with 70% of the votes right now.
It's
not even good. George Gervin, 0. No votes for George Gervin, the Iceman.
Oh, that's not good. Right? Come on.
So cast your votes.
He deserves some love.
Sports Unfolded Sports poll page on Facebook. The polls are open now. Cast your vote to help us nominate our next inductee into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame for the NBA.
Oh, let's give you the complete list.
And that is who's in currently. Bill Russell, Charles Barkley, who just got in, Irvin Johnson, so the Magic, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. So one of those 5 players we just talked about will be joining them in the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. And all the other guys, Oscar Robinson not being insane as well. So when
Kobe didn't even have a vote.
Yeah, Kobe didn't even get a vote, which was insane. We'll see how that changes next time they're eligible. But again, Sports Unfolded Sports poll page on Facebook. Check that out. And then cast your vote. Ron, we're going to talk some WNBA. So the WNBA finals started yesterday, and the New York Liberty lose game 1 to the Minnesota Lynx. Are they in trouble? They had dominated the season, and they blew an 18-point lead in game 1. Do you feel like this is a sign of trouble for the New York Liberty? Remember now,
No.
5-game series.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is, because they know that they can get that lead, and they just sat back and did nothing after they got that lead. And you can't do that to a quality team. They're going to know going into the next game that they have to play for real. And, when you have to stop Collier, right?
Yeah. Oh, such a good player.
I mean, 26.4 points per game. That is insane, right? Those are NBA numbers, right? What she's got, 9.4 rebounds. Those are NBA numbers. So she's clearly above, the players in the WNBA when it comes to scoring and rebounds and stuff. So she's there. She's a legitimate all-star, future Hall of Famer in my book. Now, New York has to get the three going. They have to have Linescu doing her thing, and Breanna Stewart has to do her thing. Those two have to combine for the majority of the points. And you also have to have Jonquil Jones, of course.
Yeah.
She has to do her job against Collier. She's got to contain her. And that is a big ask.
It is interesting to see that Minnesota during the regular season actually won the regular season matchup 2-1.
Yeah.
So they play them well, and they lost. New York lost to them in the Commissioner's Cup.
Yeah.
So Minnesota seems to have something that either distracts the New York Liberty from performing.
I would like to see Minnesota do it, to be honest with you.
To me, though, New York, they built this team up this year. This was the team.
Yeah.
You get Breanna Stewart, and think about the disappointment last year when we really thought they were going to do it. Breanna Stewart missing the go-ahead free throw with 5 seconds left that would have probably iced it. Could come back to haunt them, because I look at it this way. I always remember the Nick Anderson thing with the Orlando Magic. And when they lost to the Houston Rockets, it can be deflating to a player, because you had that opportunity. Breanna Stewart, outstanding player. But that could come back to bite this team, because that was their shot to make sure. You took all the punches. You had an opportunity to still win that game, and then didn't come through.
Right. And on a free throw, it's kind of demoralizing, to be honest with you. Now you have to, of everybody, she's the one that has to come back stronger in this next game.
And Ionescu,
she's the one that's going to have to win it.
Yeah, and Ionescu with the foul to give a 4-point play to Minnesota to even put in that position. So again, you look at the two biggest players on that team. They both have to perform it in clutch moments now if they're going to win a WNBA championship. I am excited, though, that they're going to move to 7 games next season, because I always feel like this 5-game series, like, there's so much can change in 7. Yeah. Whereas 3, it's like you go down 2-0, it's like, forget it. You know what I mean? You're pretty much done. You got to win 3 straight. So we'll see. Again, we'll do our prediction for game 2 later on in the show, and you can join us if you are live and let us know who you think is going to win game 2. But it's going to be a fun series, so I would definitely continue to keep your eyes out. What's that? Some Sunday is game 2.
Oh, so we can watch that and the Patriots on Sunday.
Yeah. Major League Baseball, Ron. Let's talk some Major League Baseball. The New York Yankees have advanced.
Why is it just Yankees that you want to talk about?
They're the only ones that have technically advanced.
No.
Well, in the Mets.
Right.
Both New York teams have advanced to the ALCS and NLCS. Do you want to switch this up? Which team do you feel? Oh, so you want to say, oh, I see what you did. Are we gonna witness a Subway Series?
It's a possibility. When you look, okay, you just look at that American League, right? I mean, I'm sorry. Do I see Cleveland or Detroit beating the Yankees? No, I don't. It could happen. I mean, look at Detroit. Their pitching staff is doing wonders, right?
Scooble's amazing. That kid is just...
But, you look at it's probably the Yankees. The Mets are probably going to have to play, the Dodgers. But it's 2-2, and San Diego could take that series.
Predictions later on in the show.
Right? So you're looking at a possibility of the Mets-Yankees, because neither team in San Diego or LA seems to want to dominate the other team. And this makes Los Angeles Dodgers vulnerable as well.
Here's why I don't think they can do it. So if I was going to ask you this question, Ron, New York Yankees, their strength is
hitting.
Fill in the blank. Hitting. They are batting .220 as a team in the postseason with only 3 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Pitching 2.50 ERA, only 7 walks allowed. So I say, wow, really pitching well. Do I count on the pitching to dominate again in another series? Not so much.
Well, it's not dominating either. It's 2.50. It's really good.
That's good. They're
But
second in
that
Major
ain't
League
as good as
Baseball.
what Detroit is doing.
Yeah, they're second in the playoffs, though. Giancarlo Stanton is their top hitter right now, batting 375. Aaron Judge, 154 batting average and no home runs. They are not winning another series if Aaron Judge is batting 150 and not hitting home runs. That to me is concerning. I'm still concerned about Aaron Boone as a manager and what he's able to do against inferior opponents. Yes, you can beat Kansas City. Do I put him over the Dodgers, Padres, or the Red Hot Mets? To your point, the Mets are on fire.
Yeah.
I don't put them ahead of them. I don't think they can win it all. And I'm not even sure they can even get to and I don't even know if they could get to the World Series because I'm very skeptical if Aaron Judge cannot figure this out in the next series.
Yeah.
The Mets, on the other hand, Lindor, holy cow, has he taken some leaps. And they believe. That team is believing in everything that's happening.
Yeah.
So I could see the Mets getting there because I agree with you. I think that Dodgers-Padres series could go in a way. We'll do our predictions after, but it could be the Mets facing somebody that they have an opportunity to beat. So I do not think we'll have a Subway Series.
I mean, chances are no, but it's a possibility. And that's why I had to come up with that.
No, I like it.
Now, the Yankees, they should be worried about their next series because if they're not hitting, they're in trouble.
220 is not going to get it done.
No.
I mean, Major League Baseball at this point, like 250 is, I think, the best, 260 in the postseason, but as a team.
If you have pitchers that can make your hitters miss, Yankees are in trouble because they strike out too much.
Yeah.
They don't get solid contact, unless it's right there for them, in the wheelhouse. They'll hit a lot of home runs, but if nobody's on base, that spells doom.
Yeah, agreed. And I don't know if that pitching staff holds up.
No, I don't know either.
It'll be interesting. But obviously postseason continues this weekend, so we could get to these championship series. So tune in tonight. The Dodgers Padres are tonight, and I think Detroit and Cleveland tomorrow. All right, Ron, it is time for split decisions. Ron, are you still with us? Uh-oh. Hey, there he is.
What just happened? Have no idea what just happened.
I don't know. You're still frozen on my end. Hold on. There we go. All right. So tonight's split decisions, basically we ask each other 2 more likely questions, and then we have to make a decision, and we live with it. I am first this week, so I will start us off. Ron, is it more likely that Drake May will throw 2 touchdowns in his debut or 2 interceptions in this week's game?
2 interceptions, Eric. I don't even think it'll be only 2.
Wow. Jeez.
Is the graphics of split decision up, Eric?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on a little delay. That's all, buddy.
Okay.
Your first split decision. So you said more than 2 interceptions.
Yeah, more than 2. Oh, let me see. What do I want to go with? Let's do this one first. Geno Smith is currently the leader in passing yards. Of course, he's played an extra game.
Yep, Thursday's game. Yep.
Who is likely to finish the season at number 1 out of these? Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow, or Mr. Stroud in Houston?
Believe it or not, I'm going to say Geno Smith because I feel like they're going to be down more and have to throw more, which is going to obviously inflate his numbers. I think Houston's got like this week probably going to run the ball more. They won't need CJ to throw as much. I think the Bengals are pretty much out of it. So I could see that going a different direction as well. Who was the third guy? I'm missing somebody.
Stroud, Cousins.
I think they've got a good balance. I could see them not throwing as much. Drake May gets benched this season, or the Jets win the division. I think, you know what's tough about this? I don't think Drake May gets benched because I don't think they could go back on what they've done now. But I don't know if the Jets win the division, but I'd say more likely the Jets win the division.
No, I'm going to say more likely that Drake May gets benched because there's no way the Jets are winning the division.
There's no way they can bench Drake May now.
Well, they could if he has an injury.
Yeah, but that's not getting benched.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't matter.
But I'm going to the Jets. He's going Drake May. Drake May. All right, my second split decision, Ron. Who is more likely to finish the season with a better goals against average? Linus Ullmark, who currently, obviously, they're both one game, as a 1.00 goals against, or Jeremy Swayman, who has a 4.00 goals against.
Who's going to have a better goals against average
for the season?
I'm going to say Swayman. Despite what happened last night. 4
goals given up already. Come on, Jeremy. So you going Swayman? I don't know.
Yeah. Because I'm looking at it this way. Look, Swayman has only had 3 days of practice. Practice?
Wait, not a game. Not a game.
You're talking about practice.
Not a game. Practice. Practice. All right. So we'll go Swayman on that one. All right. Your second split decision, Ron.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because this is very similar to that.
Okay.
Who is more likely to lead their team to the playoffs? Playoffs? Linus Ullmark for Ottawa.
Oi.
Cam Talbot for Detroit.
Yeah.
Jacob Markstrom for the New Jersey Devils, or Sam Montembeault from Montreal. They all didn't make those teams, did not make the playoffs.
Montreal's not making it. Ottawa almost made it. And I like the Ullmark. I'm going Ottawa. I'm going Linus. I think he's better than what we gave him credit for while he was here in Boston. So I'm going Ullmark.
Till the playoffs.
Yeah, well, that's a typical Bruins, though. Sorry, I know that cuts deep, Ron, but it's true. All right. We're going to continue talking some NHL.
Get the all on the mark.
Jeremy Swayman has signed his deal. Obviously played last night. Who of the two parties won in the deal? Who do you feel got the best of this deal?
That would be both, to be honest with you, Eric.
Wow. Okay. I didn't see you going that route.
First of all, the realization that Jeremy Swayman was wrong cut his ego down a little bit. And the Bruins got their guy for only 0.2 million more than what actually 2 million more, 2 million more than what they were hoping for. And that is good news for the Bruins. So it didn't cost the Bruins to have to make a trade. They just put like 4 players on waivers that may or may not have made the team anyway.
So 8 years, 66 million, 8.25 average value for that contract.
Yeah, to
per
be
season.
4th in the league, that's pretty good at his age.
I looked at it, right? Yeah, 25 years old. This was a complete win for the Bruins.
Yeah.
25-year-old goaltender now locked up for the next 8 years. So it'll be what, 33 at that point?
Yep.
The goalie market is going to blow up. It's going insane already. We've seen it. Allmark, I think, set that 8 million mark, right? And he's older. Igor Shesterkin just turned down an 8-year, $88 million deal with the Rangers. $11 million per year.
Yeah.
By the time 2-3 years go by, Jeremy Swayman may be one of the lower paid goaltenders in the league, and they'll have him locked up for another 4 to 5 years. This was a complete one for the Bruins.
Yeah.
You listen, and if he can perform, yes, 1 game sample to your point, hasn't practiced much, hasn't been around the team. 80, 33, and 15 with 12 shutouts in his career, a 2.35 goals against with a 918 save percentage, and 1 Jennings. I'll take it. I think this kid has the potential to be a Vezina winner at some point, especially with the defense in front of him this season. Why not be excited about it? I mean, right now, they're giving up some goals right now.
Giving up some goals. They're giving up position, too. The smallest guy on the defense is McAvoy at 6'1". And Florida was camped in front of that net the whole game, and Montreal did the same damn thing.
So we'll see.
They got to use their body.
Yeah, we'll see. But I like your theory too, the win for both, right? Because again, he hasn't played a lot of games.
No.
So the fact that the money he got isn't based on, hey, he's had a 5-year run of just being a dominant goaltender. He's really only had a season and a half.
Yeah, like I said, if he gets them to the playoffs.
And just think about it, Ron. If he didn't have the
playoff time, that's where you earn your money.
And if he didn't have the playoff run that he had, where he pretty much dominated, it wasn't because they gave up goals, it's because they couldn't score. Right? The Bruins just couldn't score. He basically kept them in every game. Otherwise, they probably would have got blown out and been out of the playoffs in the first round.
Yeah. I do like what I saw from a couple of the new guys last night, too. Like Lindholm, 1 goal, 2 assists. He looks good. Looks good. And Kasterlik, 4th liner, 2 goals? 2 goals.
Take that, right? They'll be all right. They'll be okay. We are going to continue with the NHL talk. Oh, you got something else. Go ahead.
Next week, I'll have the power rankings out.
NHL power rankings are back.
Power rankings.
NBA coming soon. NFL's up now. Minnesota Vikings still the top team, believe it or not. Isn't that crazy to think about? But we are going to continue some hockey talk, Ron. We're going to talk about pick and roll time.
It's time for pick and roll.
I think I messed up my. Hold on a second. I just looked at my pick and roll.
Yeah, I don't know if the graphics are even up.
They are up. They are up. I did some funky. I don't know who did what. Yeah, hold on.
This is a tough one too.
Okay, I see what I did wrong. Okay, so we are doing goaltenders who have had at least a 41-win season, episode 41, New York, New York. So we always try to keep that theme going with our pick and rolls. So 41 wins in a season. And some great goaltenders. Ken Dryden, Dominic Hasek, Ed Belfour, Martin Brodeur, and is it Pekka Rinne?
Pekka Rinne.
Pekka Rinne.
Pekka Rinne.
Pekka Rinne.
Rinne.
Okay, Pekka Rinne. Pekka Rinne. All right, so we're gonna rank them from 5 to 1, and basically
goaltender in that organization.
Yeah, pick and roll, and we're rolling with it. So at 5 for me, Ron, I am first. I will start us off. Pekka Rinne. Rinne. Pekka Rinne at number 5 for me. 369 wins, which is crazy. You think about it, that's a lot of wins. 213 losses, 75 ties, 60 shutouts, 2.43 goals against, a 917 save percentage, 2 All-Stars, 1 Vezina, and a Clancy. No other hardware. He did not win a cup. Only one on this list not to win a cup. this is where it got really interesting for me because I really like some of these guys, and I'm like, there's no way that Dominic Hasek could be number 4 ever, but he's number 4 on my list at 389 wins, 223 losses, 95 ties, 81 shutouts, a 2.20 goals against average with a 922 save percentage. Incredible. 6-time All-Star, 6-time Vezina, 3 Jennings, 2 Harts, 2 Pearsons, and 2 Cups. At 3 with 100 more wins, Ed Belfour, 484 wins, 320 losses, 125 ties, 76 shutouts, a 2.50 goals against, 906 save percentage, 3 All-Stars, 1 Calder, 2 Vezina, 4 Jennings in a Cup. The 100 wins really meant more to me. And then at 2, Ken Dryden. Ron, how have I not heard of this guy before? But 258 wins.
You haven't heard of Ken Dryden?
I don't think we've ever done a list with Ken Dryden.
Well, maybe not, but
right.
Just saying.
258 wins, 57 losses, not even close to 100 losses, 74 ties, 46 shutouts, 2.24 goals against.
Well, with the ties, Eric, isn't that close to losing?
I mean, we don't count them that way. You didn't win or lose. How's that? 6-time All-Star, 5-time Vezina, a Calder, a Smythe, and a 6-time Cup winner. Incredible. But Martin Brodeur at 691 wins. Again, the wins mattered so much to me. Was number 1 for me. 397 losses, 154 ties, 125 shutouts, a 2.24 goals against with a 912 save percentage. 7-time All-Star, 1 Calder, 5 Jennings, 4 Vezinas, and 3 Cups. Ed Belfour, my number 1 on my pick and roll this week.
It's a good list. All these goaltenders are excellent goaltenders. Number 5, I have Pekka Rinne. His numbers are good. I mean, like, I look at these numbers, like, I want a goaltender that has a 917 save percentage, right? I mean, you're going to win more games than you'll lose. That's for damn sure. It's just that he's never won a cup.
Agreed.
And that's why he's there. Because if not, I would have had him at number 4 instead of Ed Belfour.
Okay.
Belfour is number 4. And I just don't think he's as good as the other 3 above him. I know he has a lot of wins. Playing on good teams really helps. So he did win a lot of games. Yes. And I love that. And so I would take any one of these guys. He did win a cup. He has a very, very good save percentage at 906. It was the worst on this list, though, and that's what put him at number 4 for me.
Okay, I agree.
2.50 goals against average. That was the worst on this list. So he did benefit from being on some great teams. But he still has 484 wins, and I love that stat, right? I mean, you got to love a guy that just wins. Get it done. So whatever you have to do. Timely saves he's made. So I can see how you have him higher. But when I'm looking at these other 3 guys, I can't put Ed Belfour ahead of them. Cannot do it whatsoever. Number 3, and I should actually have him higher, but I can't. But Ken Dryden, if not for the lack of games, he played less than 400 games. And that's why I have him at number 3, because his win percentage better than everybody's.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And if you have less than half of, actually, with him, if you compare him to Martin Brodeur, he's a 3rd in games. 3rd of the games. You multiply his stats by 3, they're right there.
Yeah.
They're right there. But he did not play that long, and I'm not going to penalize the other 2 for playing that many games in this case.
6 cups, buddy.
I know, 6 cups. But number 2, I have Dominic Hasek. He was just so good. So good. 2.20 goals against, best on the list. 922, tied for the best with Ken Dryden. 2 cups, 6 All-Stars, 6 Vezina trophies, which is the most on the list. 3 Jennings, 2 Hart trophies. The only goaltender on this list to win MVP twice. I mean, that's pretty incredible, but I'm not going to knock Martin Brodeur off the top of this list. Second best goaltender of all time.
Go ahead. Who's number one?
Patrick Roy.
Okay.
So Martin Brodeur played 1,266 games. That's durability, right? He's there all the time. 691 wins is just
Insane.
crazy. 125 shutouts, 2.24 goals against average. It's only 0.04 more than Hasek.
Mm-hmm.
912 save percentage, which is pretty incredible for a career.
The amount of games they played, yeah, think about it.
Yeah. Hall of Famer. All these guys except for Pekka Rinne is a Hall of Famer, but Pekka Rinne is still going. 3 cups for Martin Brodeur. A Calder Trophy. 7-time All-Star, which is the most on the list. 4-time Vezina Trophy. 5-time Jennings Trophy. And, he could have won Hart trophies if they felt like giving it to a goaltender.
No, listen.
There was a
One of the
year
best
that
ever
Scott Stevens got it, and it should have been him.
Outstanding. Great list, though. A lot of fun there. Let us know if we got it right. If you're joining us live, check us out and let us know what you think about Pick and Roll. Ron, before we get into our prediction segment, you want to bring up the tennis nominees for the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame?
Sure, Eric. I can potentially do that. How about that? Is it there?
Bjorn Borg, Stefan Edberg, Boris Becker, John McEnroe, and Yvonne Lendl. John McEnroe currently leading in the voting. Again, it is on Sports Unfolded Sports poll page.
Should be Borg.
It is up now. Put in your votes to help nominate the next inductee into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Right now, Martina Navratilova and Pete Sampras in the Tennis Hall of Fame for Sports Unfolded. Can anyone else join them? So again, Arthur Ashe and Billie Jean King did not make it the last time. Somebody will be joining them as well. But check that out. Sports. I need somebody at Sports Unfolded Sports poll page on Facebook. The polls are open. Cast your vote now. Also want to take some time to thank everybody in Dallas, Georgia area, WDJY 99.1 FM every Saturday at 1 to 3. You guys have been great, and thanks for the support there as well. Again, if you'd like to get Sports Unfolded merchandise, check out Patreon at RI Broadcasting, pins, mugs, and more. So many things. Ron's displaying that beautiful mug now. You could get a Sports Unfolded mug for yourself, whatever you want to put in there, adult beverage, some coffee, whatever. It works for everything. I'm sure
Bailey's maybe.
A little bit, maybe an Irish coffee. There you go. We'll say as well, like, share, and follow our shows. We're on all the social media platforms: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, MeWe. So many different platforms that we are on. So check us out. If you don't like watching, you can listen to us on all our audio platforms as well. We are on all your favorite audio platforms. So take some time and listen to us there as well. Ron, you could also buy me a coffee at Buy Me a Coffee, RI Broadcast. So you could also donate to the show as well. Donate stars and bits if you're watching on Twitch or Facebook. So many different ways you can help support Sports Unfolded and help us continue to grow. One of our favorite segments that our fans join live in is our prediction segment, Ron. It is time for predictions. Last week, Bryce, I think, was the big winner there, 2 games over. So 5-3 for Bryce actually gets him to 56% on the season. at 9 and 7. We both had a 5 and 4. Both had top 5 drivers. I had the number 2 driver. You had the number 4 driver last week in NASCAR. And then Kenny coming in at 4 and 4 last week, but cracked 100 wins. Kenny at 100 wins on the season. Look at that. So continue to let us know who you think's going to win. Let's get your name on that Sports Unfolded prediction chart as well. We start off, Ron, in Major League Baseball. I think the game is just about to go on. The San Diego Padres at the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is game 5. This is to move on to the NLCS. I just think the Padres have a swagger. They're not afraid of the Dodgers. They've already won one in LA. And I think the Dodgers are nervous. This is a panic moment, and they have cracked in the past in the postseason. I'm going San Diego here.
Do we know who's pitching?
James going Padres, Yakamoto, and I think...
And you, Darvish.
Yeah, Darvish.
Darvish is pitching for the...
Padres.
Padres. So I'm going to go Padres on this one.
Padres. James went Padres. Clean sweep. Is that a Padres? Look, you got a little Padres guy. How cute. Hey, it's Dad. Wow. All right, Ron. Also, Major League Baseball game 5 tomorrow. Detroit Tigers at the Cleveland Guardians again to advance to the ALCS. What do you have?
Do we know who's pitching in that one?
I do not. Would you like me to check?
That would be helpful.
All right, let me see, my friend.
I don't know if it's going to matter to me, but it could.
It is. Who we looking at tomorrow? It is. Do they not give you the? Hold on a second, my friend.
Because if it is, Detroit's ace.
It is. Oh, so you want to see if it's Scooble?
Yeah. I mean, we just asked Google.
We could, because it's not really giving me the answer.
All right, well, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Detroit is going to take that one.
Yeah, all probable pitches. Here we go. Yeah, Scooble versus Boyd.
Yeah, I'll take Detroit.
Yeah, and I went Guardians, and now I'm starting to regret it. But I'm going to go Guardians. I'm going Detroit. So James went Detroit. I went Cleveland. And we got a difference there. You went Detroit as well. All right, game 2 of the WNBA finals Sunday. Minnesota Lynx at the New York Liberty. I think the Liberty figured some things out and tied this series up. So I went New York here.
Yeah, I'm going New York as well. I think New York will be fine.
We'll see, my friend. Detroit Tiger. You got a little Tiger. Look at him. He's getting really creative again. And he went New York. James went New York. All right. NHL is back. And we're going to 10-14. You got the Florida Panthers at the Boston Bruins, Ron. Who do you have?
I'm going to go Boston in this one.
Oh, you are such a homer. I cannot.
We're going to have Swayman in net.
Okay. Yeah. So, Florida Panthers beat them in the postseason. They basically embarrassed them in opening night. And I think right now, Boston can't figure out the Panthers. So, I went Florida here. I went Florida. James going to Bruins as well. NFL action on 10-13. Washington Commanders at the Baltimore Ravens.
I am going to go
Oh,
Baltimore.
this was my pick, but that's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I also went Baltimore. As much as I believe in the Commanders, I just feel like at some point it's going to come back down to
They got to play in Baltimore. They're not winning that game.
right. And the Ravens seem to be hot right now. They figured it out with Derrick Henry, so
Yeah.
I think so. Let's see the little Raven. He's looking for it right now. You know, James is trying to search for a Raven. Ravens. Henry runs all over them. All right, agreed.
No Raven. We're disappointed there's no Raven.
10-13. You've got the Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. I am going Detroit. I think a revenge game here. I think Detroit does it, and I'm still not confident with it. He did put up a Raven, by the way. I'm not confident with the Cowboys. I still don't feel like that's a bird. It looks like
Raven,
Twitter.
But
So like
it's a little bluebird
in with a box. All right. So I
agree with you, Eric. It's going to be Detroit. I think I'm not sold that Dallas can stop them.
Yeah, listen, they're going to run the ball, and Dallas has not been able to stop.
What a difference a coordinator makes.
Yeah. That's who New England should have hired, by the way, Ben Johnson. I wanted to say that. That would have made sense. That would have changed everything. No, the offensive coordinator for the Lions. Got to go Detroit. Whoa, we have a Sports Unfolded first. James has never picked against his Cowboys or any Dallas team. Any Dallas team. Everybody in Dallas he picks.
Wow.
This is a first.
Wow.
He is really
well. You know, it's reality setting in. He has to do better on his numbers.
Yeah, he's only 2 games
so
over 500.
He's now picking with his mind instead of his heart.
Yeah. Tomorrow, Ron, number 2, Ohio State, the Buckeyes at number 3, Oregon Ducks. This is a big matchup in college football. I struggled with this for a bit, but
I still am.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know if I like my
This is the only one that I don't have a circle around, and I got to come up with one.
What do you got? Who are you picking?
I'm going to go Oregon.
I also went with the Ducks at home. They are a top 10 defense and offensive team.
Yeah.
They're playing both sides of the ball, playing really well.
It's like you look at that number 2 in front of that Ohio State and you're like intimidated, but I'm not going to be intimidated. I am not going down without
your
a fight. And the Fighting Ducks are going to be there.
The Ducks, James going Ducks. You know what this means? We're all losing because we all the same on this one.
Because we want the top teams to topple, right?
All right. Let's see if we can do it again, Ron, and get a top 5 driver. On Sunday, you got the Bank of America Roval 400. That is
street race.
Yes. Top 5 driver is required. I went Kyle Busch.
Okay, I went William Byron. I was thinking about going with Kyle Larson, but I went with him last week, and
finished
he came fourth. William Byron came in 3rd last week, so I think he's going to take the jump up and win.
You're just going Byron. Get it, Byron.
Byron. The pick is Byron.
I like it. Truex Jr. for James.
It's a good pick. I was thinking about him too.
For James. All right. So we will let you know how you tune in next week, and we will let you know how you finished with your predictions. Ron, it is time for final thoughts. But before we get into our final thoughts, I know you always like to tell all the wonderful people out there how they can help sponsor our show, get their name plastered on some of the banners, and be seen by hundreds of people daily, as well as heard.
Yeah, Eric. I mean, it's very simple. All you have to do is send us an email to ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out all the information you need to know. And it's very simple, Eric. You know how simple it is. It's just as simple to going to your local coffee shop, getting that pumpkin spice coffee.
Had one last week. and pumpkin muffins right now. So I'm telling you, bro, pumpkin's the way to go.
And the pumpkin muffin. So you can, it'll cost you less than that. Less, right? So just do that. Support. It helps, keep the lights on, of course. It'll put your name way up in that corner up there, like for, the show, basically.
Yeah.
It'll be right there for the show.
Get some sponsors. You can also donate stars and bits as you watch. Buy me a coffee. So many different ways you can help sponsor donate to the show, as well as like, share, and follow all of our social platforms. Tell your friends about us. Join us live every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love to have conversations with everybody that joins in. So much fun. So become a sponsor. Check out Going On Daily every Saturday at 9 a.m. Their morning show on Rhode Island Broadcasting. Ron and Kenny, you guys do a great job.
Tomorrow morning, me and Kenny will be there.
It's such a good time watching that as well. So check that out. A lot of great shows on Rhode Island Broadcast. So check that out as well. Let us get into some final thoughts, Ron. I have two.
Big surprise.
I know it's crazy to think about, but I wanted to, first off, Rafael Nadal has announced his retirement. No longer will be playing tennis after this season. That was yours. I love it. 22 Grand Slams, second most in men's history. But you think about some of those battles he had. Such a great tennis player. One of the best on clay, right? It was the French Open. Dominated the French Open. So wishing him the best. Hey, if he's out there, come join Spots and Fellas. We'd love to talk to you. And then I also wanted to congratulate the Seattle Kraken for making history, having the first female assistant coach, Jessica Campbell, on their sidelines. What a great job. I still say at some point we need to make some of these women head coaches. We've talked about it before with the Las Vegas Aces and having Becky Hammond become an NBA head coach. I think she's well deserving of it. This is another sign that the sports are moving in the right direction when it comes to women in their knowledge of the game. So good luck to Jessica Campbell. What a great accomplishment as the first woman ever to be an assistant coach on an NHL team and actually, participate in the whole proceeding. So that's awesome. So that was my final thoughts, Ron.
Yeah. Okay, so you did this 2 weeks ago when you took both my main one and
here we go, bro.
My secondary. So now I have to fall back on a third one.
See? I always know you'd have a third.
So my third one is because I didn't watch the Bruins telecast the other night when they played Montreal on Thursday. I watched the Montreal telecast, and it was just funny to see. It was funny to see throughout history how Montreal gets all the calls. And it doesn't matter against who, because I've seen games against Detroit and they get the calls against Detroit. And so they've always gotten the advantage of the referees. The telecast did so much crying about the referees in that game. Mind you, they wiped out a Bruins goal, but they still managed to do so much crying about how bad the referees were. And it was heartwarming to see it. After, 100+ years watching, well, not me watching the NHL,
I mean,
but
you're looking a
100+
little
years of the NHL, and they finally cracked, and now blaming their team losses on referees. It's so wonderful to see it. So stop your crying, Montreal. You deserve everything you get.
You and Montreal have a thing. I want to thank everyone that joined us live. James, thank you for joining live. We always appreciate your support. Want to let everybody know to like, share, follow our show. We are on all social media platforms. Listen to us on all our audio platforms as well. Check out if you would like to be a sponsor, ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. Was that the correct address?
ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com.
I got it right. So join us there and just ask if you'd like to be a guest on Sports Unfolded as well. If you have a sports background, anything related to sports, let us know. Email us, and we will definitely look into seeing if we could get you on one of our future episodes. We are on season 4, episode 41, New York, New York. We are closing it out. Ron, I've had a great time tonight. Thank you for all you do for Sports Unfolded. Check out Patreon too. Get some Sports Unfolded merchandise. Love to get some pictures of you holding up that mug, and we could post it right on the show. We will see you next Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live. All we have asked for every single show is that we get peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody.